Welcome to the video workshop on map and atlas discovery. This is Module 1, a quick introduction to maps. After viewing this video, you will be able to understand the various elements that are part of a map. You will also be able to identify different types of maps, including study area maps, thematic maps, topographic maps, fire insurance plans, property data maps, and aerial photographs and photo maps. Let's start with a review of the many different parts of a map. These elements include the map, the title, the author, the legend, the map source, the north arrow, the scale, and the inset map. Depending on the type of map, the north arrow, the scale, and the inset part of your map may be optional. But the key information that's usually included in the map is the map itself. The title, which usually describes the purpose of the map, the author of the map, the legend, which helps to interpret the map, and then the source of the information used to create the map. As a researcher, you might encounter study area maps. Study area maps are a type of map that describe a specific area of study or key points of interest that are affiliated with a research study. For example, you might find an article on a case study in the Parkdale neighborhood in Toronto, and embedded in the article, there may be a study area map of Parkdale. A study area map is commonly used in articles, academic books, reports, theses and dissertations, major research papers, and other scholarly publications. It's an important visual element for providing geographical context for the reader, given that whoever is reading the document may not be familiar with the region. This map type usually communicates the boundary of a study area, identifies key points of interest, and additional geographic information. A study area map might be copied from another source and labeled as figure, followed by a description and a citation, because other existing maps might be reused in studies. This is an example of a study area map. It's from a student's thesis titled With the Salween Peace Park, We Can Survive as a Nation, Karen Environmental Relations and the Politics of an Indigenous Conservation Initiative. In this case, the researcher has produced a study area map of the region of Thailand discussed in the thesis. This is another example of a study area map from a journal article. The figure has two panels, one that shows all the neighborhoods of Toronto, and the second indicates where the study area is located in the City of Toronto's Dover Court neighborhood, from Dufferin to Bathurst Streets, then between College and Queen Streets. The map is zoomed in with major streets labeled. Note that the source shows that this study area map comes from the City of Toronto. Here is another example of a study area map from a journal article. The article's author has reused the study area map from a different source. It was reprinted with permission, and the figure statement provides the citation for the original source. We encounter thematic maps on a day-to-day basis. These maps are designed to show how a subject can be connected with a specific geographical area and are created by mapping thematic data to spatial distributions. The thematic data can range from physical phenomena such as temperature to human data such as income, population density, and health. Thematic data are mapped onto a general map or a base map, which contains layers such as coastlines, boundaries, roads, and places, so that the reader can situate data that are being mapped. Thematic maps are sometimes referred to as a data visualization, given that they portray spatial variations in geographical relationships. This is an original thematic map created by Dr. John Snow showing cholera deaths in London, England during the 1840s. It was published in a book called On the Mode of Communication of Cholera and depicts a base map with the streets and boundaries of a neighborhood in London. The cases of cholera are shaded in black, and the location of the water wells are also labeled. With this map, John Snow and others could see that the deaths were all geographically proximate, demonstrating that the outbreak was a result of one infected water pump. This is another thematic map showing socioeconomic data. The base map, which is also a form of a thematic map, shows the major routes and roads in Toronto from the waterfront to the boundaries of the city. Perhaps less identifiable are features that also show the different census tracts. The information that's mapped on top of each census tract is socioeconomic data, and more specifically, the number of households where the language of Tagalog is spoken in the home. The data are from the 2016 Census of Population by Statistics Canada, which are then mapped onto a base map of Toronto. This thematic map displays the concentration of Tagalog speakers in Toronto, with the dark green patches indicating the highest concentration. This map is a static map that is available online in PDF format. In comparison, some thematic maps are in the form of an interactive map. This is an example of a map of Toronto's zoning bylaw 569/2013, which depicts the various zoning categories in the city. This interactive map allows you to zoom in on areas of interest and identify the zoning categories, and how they're divided and subdivided. The colors represent different broad categories like residential, commercial, institutional, or open space. Here again, underneath this thematic data lies a base map layer of the city of Toronto. A topographic map is another type of base map, but it's also considered to be a thematic map. A topographic map is a detailed representation of cultural and physical features on the landscape, showing features such as roads, buildings, urban development, waterways, geographic elevations, vegetation, and place names. A topographic map is useful for scientific purposes where people need to measure precise areas on a map, such as for surveying water systems impacted by building developments. From a planner's perspective, topographic maps have an interesting use given that they provide a historical window into how an area may have looked like in the past. This image is a topographic map of the Malton area in 1974, which looks quite different from this area today. In the lower left-hand corner is where the city of Brampton should be, but at this time period it was called the village of Bramley. Although some urban areas are indicated on this topographic map, the rest is completely rural, demonstrating visually how the region has changed over time. If you were to look at this map today, it would be entirely filled with urban, residential, industrial, or commercial areas. This map is available through a web-based platform called Scholars GeoPortal, which we will introduce in a later module. Fire insurance plans are a rich historical resource. They are urban city maps initially created for insurance companies to provide information about building composition and to assess fire risk when assigning insurance rates. These plans provide details on building construction and usage in relation to streetscapes, neighborhoods, and commercial regions. They were created for fire insurance underwriters so that they could understand the physical characteristics of buildings and structures that they were providing insurance for. In this example, We have a fire insurance plan from 1923 of the Mount Dennis area of the City of Toronto, near Weston Road and Eglinton. This map represents every physical structure from this neighborhood, including homes, schools, public offices, businesses, and commercial buildings. When fire insurance plans ceased production in the mid-1970s, most cities, municipalities, and counties in Ontario began producing large-scale base maps called property data maps. These maps indicate property boundaries, building footprints, addresses of buildings, street names, and the precise area covered by a given street. Some cities, like the City of Toronto, map other features such as fire hydrants, street sewer holes, elevation points, sidewalks, traffic lights, or light poles. This is an example of a property data plan located in the west end of Toronto and is very similar to the fire insurance plan. It records information for street addresses, building footprints, and property boundaries. Since the City of Toronto created it, this example shows the location of light standards, traffic lights, and even where the sewer holes are situated on the street. This map is available through York University libraries in both print and digital versions. Finally, we have aerial photographs and photo maps. Aerial photographs are individual photographs, usually printed on a small sheet of photographic paper. In comparison, a photo map is a large format aerial photograph printed on a large sheet of paper. Photo maps are produced by creating a mosaic of individual aerial photos. In this example, a scanned photo map of the area around the Pearson Airport in Toronto is depicted from 1954. You might note that Highway 401 is not shown because the roadway had not been built yet. These historical maps give an idea of the structure and fabric of the landscape at a given point in time, whereas a property data plan, a topographic map, or fire insurance plan are interpretations of what is located on the landscape. This map can be accessed online and can also be found in a hard copy in the map library, along with other photo maps.